Good morning, Alaska. It is Monday, and I came in town to go do some errands, and things kind of got a little mixed up, and my plans ended up changing, but they ended up changing for the better because I was actually able to meet with a lovely young lady named Vicky Waren, who is a social media marketer who does blogging and writing and Pinterest, Twitter, all the different social medias, and she teaches how to be successful online. And it was just a wonderful meeting. I have not gotten to meet a lot of people from Alaska who do blogging, and it was just a joy to get to sit down with her for about an hour and talk about online marketing and how we are doing in it. We talked a lot about Snapchat. We talked a lot about, the different issues that are going on with Facebook and how sometimes, if you're not able to pay for it, it's not getting any traction anymore. But it was really, really interesting to hear some of her insights on things. I got to ask her a couple questions, and I had a couple questions from some of my Snap family, and one of them was what was one of the most difficult things to overcome in her, social work, life. And she said that the hardest thing was probably figuring out where your niche is and who your audience is. And I can only say that I understand where she is coming from, because it can be very difficult to figure out where you kind of fit in this whole social media world. But I really think that as you continue to just work towards your goals, you kind of find where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. I played around a lot for a long time with all of my different social medias, and one of the things we did talk about is that we have different audiences on different platforms. My Snapchatters want to see the fun and the lively and the silliness and the Alaska stuff, and then my YouTubers want to see the Alaska stuff. And my Instagram is very much my artwork, my tiny planet photos, my just different things. And then my Twitter is very business. So you really get to see the business and the methodical side of Shiloh on my Twitter. And so it's kind of funny to see the differences in the personality depending on what we're doing and what platform we're working off of. So that was something that was really interesting to talk with her about, because she agrees that it's interesting that we have different people based on where we're at. Another question that got posed was, what was her favorite book or movie? And she said it was How to Win Friends and Influence, I always forget, influence people, I think. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People, I think. And that is a really good book. I've read some of it. I haven't read the whole thing. I need to kick my butt and get it done and get read it. But but she said it was really good, and it really helps you in learning how to work with people. And then there was another question that got posed. Oh, and it was, who was your favorite storyteller? And she mentioned Madalyn Sklar. And Madalyn Sklar, if you don't know who she is a social media marketer on Twitter. And I'm pretty sure she has other places that you can find her as well. But I will tag both Vicky and Madalyn in this video so that you guys can go and check out what she has. Madalyn runs a couple of different Twitter chats, and actually that's how me and Vicky got to meet. We ended up, I think we met on the Twitter chat Social ROI, and then we realized we were both from Alaska, and why shouldn't we meet up with each other and get to know each other, see where we're going in our career goals. And so it was just a wonderful meeting. She is a lovely person, and she's got some rambunctious, beautiful boys, and it was very, very fun to be able to sit down with her and talk for, I got to talk for about an hour, so that was very fun. have learned a little bit from each other, just about even the differences in the platforms, because I asked her about if she likes to do the video or the writing more, and she's more of a writer, whereas I get very nervous about my writing. I feel like I'm always going to be not the top writer when it comes to grammar and stuff like that. So I'd actually rather talk, and whether that's podcasting or being on video, I'd rather have a conversation than write. In fact, sometimes I dread writing my descriptions for my YouTubes, but I really shouldn't. I'm not that bad of a writer. It's just never been my passion. But it's amazing to talk to somebody who is more of a writer and see the differences in what we can do together. But that doesn't mean you can't cross over. I mean, I've found that because I'm doing YouTube, I now have to do more writing so that I can have a really good descriptions for my videos. And I may end up in the long run needing or wanting to have a blog that goes along and pairs with my videos. Nothing too soon though. I already have enough on my plate. But you know, getting to see the different viewpoints is really interesting because it opens your mind, it shows you a different world, because we all have our channels, our stories on Snapchat, our worlds, and because we can meet up or meet through online social, we are able to see into the windows of each other's little worlds, and it's a great feeling to be able to connect with people. It's my favorite thing, and I really hope that I get to meet with her again, because I would love to work with her about getting some more of my social media a little more organized. I mean, I feel that I'm doing pretty darn good for being a one-woman show on my own with the whole thing, but it's definitely something that I'm sure there's parts of each of my social medias that need a little more fine-tuning, and you're always growing, you're always changing, so having people review your work is always a great thing to do. Is it just not a beautiful day? I mean, it's amazing, and that's why I like doing these Driving Alaskas. I'm really sad that the stream health doesn't always keep going well enough, but we're gonna work that out. We're gonna figure that out. But I figure, at the very least, if I stream it this way and we talk and we have this conversation, I could always take the audio and make that into some kind of a podcast. So, as I was saying, the gal that I met with today, her name is Vicky Waren. She's on Twitter, and I think she has a couple other social media accounts, but I'm definitely going to link to her Twitter account below, and I think she has a website, so I'm gonna try and link that as well. So I hope that you will go and check her out. She really seems like she's very sharp and on top of things, and very down to earth. I enjoyed our time together, and I only can hope that we can meet more and again and do some collaborations, because she just seems like a very friendly, fun lady. And I guess she's been up here for about 16 years, so that's a good amount of time to be in Alaska. I would joke and say not necessarily a born and raised Alaskan like I am, but when you've lived in Alaska for 16 years, you've seen a lot of things, and you haven't seen it all, but you've seen most of it, and it's amazing the culture difference up here. So I love that I'm getting to connect and meet with all these people, because they're wonderful, and I'm always learning something new. That's something that you have to be willing to do. Always be a learner. I tell people this all the time. Always be a learner, because you can never stop yourself from learning. You need to grow. People need to grow and change, or they get stagnant. And if you're ever wondering why something's not working for you, you need to look back at what you're doing, and maybe you need to learn something new. Maybe you need a new technique. Maybe you need need a new platform. Maybe what you're doing on one platform would be better fitted for a different one, and you'd get more response. That was actually one of the things I talked about with her about my Facebook, because I have an immense amount of friends on Facebook. I have 800 plus friends on Facebook, and I would say 80 to 90% of them I've actually met in real life and shaken their hands, gotten to know them, and yet my work, my pictures, my videos, whatever, not really getting seen at all by my friends. So it's very difficult to want to take the time to post on Facebook if it's not going to gain any traction. Whereas I can post the same picture on Instagram and get 100 likes in 24 hours. So it really is about dividing your time in a way that works best for you, for your medium, for the platform that you're working on. There's some things that I would never do on Instagram that I would definitely do on Snapchat, and vice versa. It's amazing to see and to talk to other people with other viewpoints about, you know, how to succeed in the social media world. Excuse me. How to succeed in the social media world. And I am not as interested in numbers as I am in connections, genuine connections. Because if you are genuine and you are making real, personable connections with people, then the numbers will just come, because people will just enjoy your company and your time. And if you're able to give that freely and willingly and genuinely, then people will enjoy it, you know, and you'll see the numbers come. Everybody wants to have that, you know, that magic trick, that super tip, that, you know, idea that's going to make them go viral. And that's just not how making friends works, because that's what I look at it as. It is about making friends and making connections with people. I don't want to just have a number on the screen and be like, oh yay, I have 10,000 people, you know, that I haven't talked to or haven't commented back and forth with, or we haven't DM'd. I have no idea who they are, but apparently they like my stuff. No, I like growing my community. I like that you are here with me and listening, even if the stream health is bad. I want to be able to connect. I want to be able to show Alaska in all of its beauty, in all of its amazing life, and all the different seasons, and I hope that you'll journey with me as we go, because it's only going to get more and better, and I'm going to get better at doing my live streams, and we're going to figure out how to get the help to be good. And if I have to, I will just record like I am now, not live, and put it up that way. I mean, it's not the same as having a live stream in that manner, but it's still pretty darn fun. And I love doing the live streams. They're great. They kind of force me to have to learn how to talk to the camera continuously. Well, not continuously, but pretty continuously. You know, you don't want dead air on a live stream. That's one of the big things, unless you're putting music to it, and with a live stream they will penalize you if you put music to it. So what do? But there's so much to Alaska, and I've only gotten to show you guys a little bit so far, and there's so much to show, so many different angles to see it at, and different places, different venues, and different events that are just, it's a whole different culture up here, like the polar plunge. I mean, there's a lot of other places that do the polar plunge, but they don't do it like Alaska do it. Only in Alaska, hashtag, hashtag Alaska life, you know. And like this morning, oh my goodness, we have a lake, and I live on a dead-end street, and the end of our street, the only way into our neighborhood is a lake right now. And when I drive through it, my Honda symbol on my car gets completely submerged. It is terrible. It's something that you wouldn't think about when you think about living in Alaska or moving to Alaska. buying a car with good enough clearance. I mean, we have a person who has a Ford F-250, but it's only a front wheel. I don't know if it's rear wheel or front wheel, but it's not four-wheel drive. And even his truck, with the clearance he had, he got stuck in our road's lake yesterday. And then I got stuck. And so you might lose out on a day of work just because you got stuck. I mean, that's something that's, you know, real. And it's just crazy living in places like this. And you just don't think about it. I mean, down in the States, you guys get a little bit of snow and it's, you know, everything shuts down. Up here, we get 3 feet of snow and it's, you better still show up to work. Oh, man. Which is just a difference in culture no matter what. So I want to be able to show these different things. I want to show as much as I can and help you guys experience as much of Alaska as possible. Because it's fun and it's beautiful and I drive a lot. There's a lot of driving to be done and a lot of distance to be covered and a lot of views to be seen, and I want to show as many of them as I can. And I really hope that you guys will come along with me, because if you like these videos and you subscribe to my channel, this is what you're going to get, and it's only going to get better from here on in. And why not come along with me? So we're actually passing Chugiak. This is where I got stuck the other day because, so big news in Alaska. This is the only highway, the only way to get from Anchorage to Wasilla. And the other day, a semi-trailer hauling a modular home ran into one of these bridges right here and crashed into the bridge and made the structural integrity completely shot. So they had to go and close off the entire highway. This highway in the morning, every single day, gets 30,000 commuters coming into Anchorage. And on Thursday, I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours and hadn't moved much further past that bridge that we just passed before I had to bail and turn around and say, I'm not even continuing to try. My other friend was stuck in the traffic for 5 hours because she had left at 5 in the morning and I had left at 7. And I don't even know if she ever made it to Anchorage. If we ever had an apocalypse here, we would be doomed. Everybody in Anchorage would be doomed because there's only one way out of the state by road, and that's this highway. If it gets blocked, it's done for. Oh, and that day, not only was it slowed down to a crawl, hours-long crawl, going back into Anchorage, but there was another, sadly, fatal accident on the highway coming out the way we're going right now, and that blocked the road so badly that they actually moved the accident and landed on the highway to be able to go and rescue people. And sadly, there was one fatality in that accident. But there you go. They had the road blocked 2 different directions and there was just no movement. And it just shows that if we had a natural disaster or anything like that, we would just be roadblocked in. I mean, the only way out of the state by road is the ALCAN, the Alaska Canadian Highway. And if you can't get to that, if you're in Anchorage, you're stuck, because the only way to get out of here is to go by boat or plane after that point. And it's just disastrous for if we end up having something go wrong. So I don't know if they'll ever change that or ever be able to change that, but it was amazing to see it actually happen. I actually live streamed on Facebook that day, and we were talking about how just amazingly blocked it was and how I hadn't moved for 2 hours. I mean, the Facebook people were cheering when we moved 10 feet. It was pretty crazy. And it just goes to show how important having good road systems and clear signage is, because I don't know what happened that the guy ended up crashing into the bridge, but he obviously didn't know how high the modular home was sitting on top of his semi-trailer and crashed right into the underpass. It just, I don't know how you do that being a semi-truck driver. Just crazy. Now, as we come around this bend, we'll get a really wide view of the mountains on the sides here because the trees open up, and we actually are getting close to, this is Thunderbird Falls we're passing, which I will have to do one of these days and show you guys, because that's a wonderful hike to take. Eklutna Lake is really high up, kind of in the mountains, and you can drive up there. That'll be another trip that we will do. There's a lot of these places right now that they're just inaccessible. They're not great for doing the hikes yet, so it'll have to be later as we progress in this channel. And as it opens up here, you can really see the mountains, but it's going to open up even more because we reach what is considered the flats, and it is just this open space of just marsh, mainly marsh area, so there's a lot of view. And it's funny, well, it's not funny, but it is funny, after this happened on Thursday, all of a sudden we now have a lot bigger signs marking that trucks should go over the overpasses, not under the overpasses. Like, come on, really, you should know your maximum heights before you even leave wherever you're going. And this is the little curve that you know you've reached the flats. Just look at those amazing mountains. They're so beautiful, and every different season they look so different. The shape stays the same, but the shadows and the colors and the snow goes away on most of these. Like the ones to the right here have predominantly melted off for the most of it, but these other ones that still have a great deal of snow will also melt. During the summer we may see a little bit at the top. We will see how this year is and how warm it is. We've been hitting anywhere from 38 to 45 degrees every day for the last week. So spring is officially sprung in Alaska, and it is just amazingly gorgeous, and I love it, and I'm so done with winter. As is every other Alaskan out here. We actually had a lot more snow this year than in a lot of the previous years. So a lot of people who are also newer to Alaska, like 5 years old or less, have not experienced as much snow as we had this year. Learning for people, I am sure, who have not experienced the heavy snows. But look at these mountains. They're just incredible. I'm hoping we'll take the drone out here soon, and we'll go again up to this area, up through the Old Glen Highway. That actually used to be how you would get to the Alcan. You would go the Old Glen Highway. Now we are on the New Glen Highway. This is actually the Richardson Highway, but it connects up to the Glen Highway, and it actually kind of just bypassed this whole right side of the mountains here, but you could still go up there into the road system up there. And I want to take the drone up there because there's the Eklutna Tail Race, which is one of the fishing areas up there, but it's beautiful and just very scenic, and it's a very nice drive. I did do a little live streaming on my Facebook lake area, and again, there's just all sorts of different things to go and see all over Alaska. There's pull-offs, there's spots, there's lakes, there's hiking trails, all sorts of things to do. And there's things to do for free or limited amounts of money. So you don't have to spend a lot when you're in Alaska. you could spend a great deal. It all just depends on what kind of a person you are and the experience that you're looking to have. And I will probably cut off the stream soon, probably once we get closer to Wasilla. But I want to continue showing these mountains and just getting to talk to you about a little bit of the experiences. Now, I've grown up here, born and raised, and that means I have driven this highway hundreds of times. I couldn't even tell you how many times I have driven it, and every time it is different. And the drive varies. Like right now, everything is dry and clear. We did not crash, I swear. We are just fine. We just hit a bump, and therefore the phone fell off the pop pocket magnet. So I do apologize. Now this area really opens up, and you can see a lot of the mountains right in this area. And they are all around us except for to the left, which is the big bay. And it's the Connect River, and it flows in from the ocean, or flows out from the ocean. I can't talk today. And then all of this is marshland. So you can't actually build anything out here. And it's a wildlife conservation area. So if we're out here one of these days, we might actually see some moose. That's another thing. People come up here and always want to see the wildlife, and it's such a hit or miss if you're going to actually see anything. So we always tell people when we're driving along this area to keep an eye out on the sides of the road and out in the outer area, because there might be a moose out there, might even be a bear, but it's also very hard to see it out in this wilderness. It's just so beautiful, but it's very hard to see the animals a lot of times. So, but we have been having some very crisp, clear days here this last week. It's been warm, it's been sunny and beautiful, and a lot of days where there's not a cloud in the sky. Today's a little hazy, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect every day. And I'm so glad to see it melting all the time now, because I really want the lake at my house to be not a lake anymore. And we are officially coming into Wasilla, Alaska. If you were to take a right here, we would enter into Palmer, Alaska. But we are going home, so I am ready to be home. But you never know what we'll do today, since the rest of my day is off. And I might get to go out and go droning a bit, so I'm really excited about that. So I hope that you've enjoyed this drive. If you've made it this long, if the stream health stayed okay. Again, we're learning what we have to do, so bear with me. But if you like these driving in Alaskas, leave a comment. Tell me what I could do. If you've had any experience with live streaming in areas that are a lot more difficult as far as the Wi-Fi, we have good signal towers out here, but I'm noticing that a lot of the live streaming is poor. So if you have any tips or tricks on what we could do to improve that, definitely let me know in the comments below. I hope that you'll like this video. I hope that you'll subscribe, and I think you're gonna like the stuff that is to come. So until next time, I will be speaking with you later.